Imagine waking up tomorrow, everything seemingly the same, yet a nagging suspicion lingers. Is this world, your life, just an elaborate illusion? This unsettling question, far from the realm of fringe theories, has captivated some of the brightest minds for centuries. From philosophers pondering the nature of reality to physicists grappling with the universe's strangest laws, the idea that our existence might be a meticulously crafted simulation persists. But why? What sparked this mind-bending concept? The seeds of the simulation theory were sown long ago. Ancient philosophical questions about the nature of reality, is what we perceive truly objective? Laid the groundwork. But the idea truly rocketed into popular consciousness in the 1980s with the advent of powerful computers. Think about it, if we can create ever more sophisticated virtual worlds, could a vastly advanced civilization be simulating entire realities for reasons we can't even fathom? The concept gained further traction with the release of the sci-fi film The Matrix in 1999. Suddenly, the idea of a simulated reality wasn't just a philosophical thought experiment, it was a thrilling cinematic adventure. The film resonated with audiences because it tapped into that nagging suspicion: what if our reality, however familiar, is just a cleverly constructed program? But the theory goes beyond Hollywood thrills. Some physicists, like Nick Bostrom, argue that with the potential for advanced civilizations and vast computational power, the creation of simulated realities becomes not only possible, but statistically probable. Our universe could be one of many simulations, with countless beings living out their lives within them, oblivious to the true nature of their existence. The idea that our reality might be a simulated matrix challenges everything we think we know. But what if, instead of fearing this possibility, we saw it as an opportunity? What if ancient mystical practices, passed down through generations, held the key to unlocking the secrets of this simulation and achieving a higher state of being? Could these practices offer a way to pierce the veil and glimpse the truth beyond the code? Think of it like this: even if we are living in a simulated reality, the experience of life within that simulation is still real. By unlocking our full potential through mystical practices, we can navigate this reality with greater clarity, purpose, and perhaps even a sense of freedom, regardless of whether the world is code or not. The pursuit of this deeper understanding becomes the true adventure, a journey inward that might hold the key to unlocking the greatest mysteries of all, the nature of consciousness itself. Throughout history, various cultures have developed elaborate spiritual traditions aimed at achieving a higher state of consciousness. From the meditative practices of Hinduism and Buddhism to the ecstatic visions of Sufi mystics, these traditions share a common thread: the belief that our everyday perception of reality is limited and that there's a deeper truth waiting to be unveiled. Plato's Allegory of the Cave is a profound metaphorical narrative that has fascinated philosophers for centuries. In this allegory, Plato presents a compelling analogy for the human condition, illustrating how our perceptions can deceive us and lead us to misunderstand the true nature of reality. The cave represents the world as we perceive it, with the prisoners symbolizing individuals who are unaware of anything beyond their immediate sensory experiences. The flickering shadows on the cave walls serve as a representation of the illusions and superficialities that dominate our perceptions. These shadows, generated by objects passing in front of a fire behind the prisoners, are mistaken by the prisoners as the entirety of reality. They are unaware that there is a deeper, more substantive reality beyond the confines of the cave. Plato contends that true knowledge, or enlightenment, can only be attained by breaking free from the chains of ignorance and ascending to the realm of pure forms. The journey out of the cave symbolizes the process of philosophical inquiry and introspection, wherein individuals question their assumptions, challenge their beliefs, and strive to perceive reality as it truly is. The Hindu concept of Maya parallels Plato's Allegory in many ways. Maya, often translated as illusion or deception, refers to the transient, ever-changing nature of the phenomenal world. According to Hindu philosophy, the material world is not the ultimate reality but rather a projection of Brahman, the supreme cosmic consciousness. Just as the prisoners in Plato's cave mistake the shadows for reality, individuals in the Hindu tradition are ensnared by Maya, unable to perceive the underlying Brahman that permeates all existence. Liberation from Maya entails transcending the illusions of the material world and realizing one's true nature as an eternal, spiritual being. Both Plato's allegory of the cave and the Hindu concept of Maya challenge us to question the validity of our perceptions and to seek deeper truths beyond the surface of reality. They remind us that the world we perceive with our senses is not necessarily the ultimate reality and that true wisdom lies in transcending the limitations of our finite minds. But how can we break free from this illusion? Here's where mystical practices come into play. Meditation, a cornerstone of many traditions, aims to quiet the incessant chatter of the mind and access a deeper level of awareness. Through focused attention and breathwork, we can transcend the limitations of our senses and tap into a more expansive reality. Think of the mind as a funhouse mirror, distorting and warping our perception. Meditation helps us bypass this distortion and see the world with a sense of clarity and objectivity. Sam Harris, a prominent neuroscientist and philosopher, is a strong advocate for meditation and its benefits. He emphasizes the concept of meta-awareness, which refers to the ability to be aware of your own thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. Imagine your mind as a busy marketplace filled with vendors, thoughts and emotions, constantly shouting their wares. Meta-awareness allows you to step back from the marketplace, observe the activity without judgment, and choose which vendors to engage with. The theory of the simulated reality suggests that our perception of the world is created by a complex program. This program could be feeding us information, shaping our thoughts and emotions, and ultimately influencing our experience of reality. Here's where meta-awareness comes in. By cultivating this ability to observe our own thoughts and emotions with detachment, we might be able to see through the programming of the simulation. We might start to notice patterns in our thinking, biases that influence our perception, and emotional reactions that seem automatic rather than a genuine response to the situation. This detachment doesn't mean suppressing our thoughts or emotions, it's about acknowledging them without being controlled by them. By observing our inner world with a sense of objectivity, we might start to see the potential influence of the simulation on our consciousness. This detachment achieved through meta-awareness could be interpreted as a glimpse beyond the simulation's programming. If we can observe our own mental processes without being swept away by them, we're potentially experiencing a state that's not dictated by the simulation. It's a state of pure awareness, independent of the thoughts and emotions generated by the program. Another mystical practice with potential to shatter the illusion of reality is lucid dreaming. In a lucid dream, the dreamer becomes aware they're dreaming and can manipulate the dream world at will. Proponents of lucid dreaming believe it offers a training ground for manipulating the waking world as well, perhaps even hinting at the ability to bend the fabric of this simulated reality. Physicist Albert Einstein himself acknowledged the potential of dreams, stating, "Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one." Lucid dreaming might be a way to crack through this persistence. Sufi mystics, known for their ecstatic practices and twirling dances, believed in achieving a state of fana, the annihilation of the self. By dissolving the ego and merging with the divine, they sought to transcend the limitations of individual consciousness and potentially pierce the veil of the simulated reality. Psychologist Carl Jung, though not a proponent of the simulation theory, posited the concept of the collective unconscious, a shared pool of human experience that transcends individual minds. Perhaps by accessing this deeper level of consciousness, we approach a state akin to Fana, breaking free from the simulation's control over our individual perceptions. Of course, these are just a few examples. From shamanic rituals involving altered states of consciousness to the use of mantras and visualization techniques, various mystical practices offer potential pathways to escape the matrix. It's important to remember that these practices are not one-size-fits-all solutions. What works for one person might not resonate with another. The key is to find a practice that cultivates inner stillness, expands awareness, and allows you to question the very nature of your reality. Is escaping the simulation a literal act of breaking free from a computer program, or is it a metaphorical journey towards a more expansive and enlightened state of being? The answer might lie somewhere in between. By delving into the depths of our own consciousness through mystical practices, we might discover that the true liberation lies not in breaking the simulation, but in awakening to the reality that already exists beyond its confines. As the Sufi mystic Rumi so eloquently stated, the breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. Perhaps these secrets hold the key to unlocking the true nature of reality, simulation or not. The exploration of escaping the matrix through mystical practices doesn't end with ancient traditions. Modern technology is also finding its way into this conversation. Biofeedback, for instance, allows individuals to monitor their physiological responses in real time. By observing changes in heart rate, brainwaves, and muscle tension during meditation or other practices, some believe biofeedback can provide objective evidence of altered states of consciousness, potentially signaling a shift beyond the limitations of the simulated reality. Neuroscientist Michael Graziano, focusing on the brain's role in constructing reality, suggests that biofeedback could offer a tool to hack this construction and experience reality in a fundamentally different way. While biofeedback offers a more scientific approach, some argue that the true escape lies in a return to nature. Indigenous cultures around the world have long revered the natural world as a teacher and a gateway to altered states of consciousness. Vision quests undertaken in solitude within the wilderness, or the use of psychotropic plants in certain rituals, are believed to induce profound experiences that challenge our everyday perception of reality. Philosopher and writer Terence McKenna, a proponent of exploring consciousness through psychedelics, famously stated, "Nature loves courage." Do you have enough courage to go through doors which nobody has ever walked through before? These journeys into the wild, some argue, might be the key to unlocking the secrets of the simulated matrix. The concept of escaping the simulation also raises intriguing questions about the nature of consciousness itself. Is consciousness a product of the brain, or does it exist independently, perhaps even predating the simulation itself? Philosopher David Chalmers champions the concept of panpsychism, the idea that consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe, present even in rudimentary forms within subatomic particles. If this is true, then consciousness cannot be truly trapped within the simulation, as it would be a building block of the simulation itself. Exploring and expanding our own consciousness, then, becomes the key to understanding the nature of reality, regardless of whether it's simulated or not. Ultimately, the question of whether we live in a simulated reality remains unanswered. But the pursuit of this answer through mystical practices, modern technology, and philosophical inquiry opens doors to a deeper exploration of consciousness itself. Whether the goal is a literal escape from the matrix or a metaphorical awakening to a more expansive reality, these practices offer a path towards self-discovery, a heightened awareness, and perhaps even a glimpse of the truth that lies beyond the veil of our everyday perception. As the Zen proverb reminds us, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The journey itself, regardless of the destination, holds the potential for profound transformation.